This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. The champ, Chantelle Campbell. Long time no speak, I think, actually. How are
Yeah,
you?
I spoke to you for ages. You've been ducking me.
I know. How dare I? How's things? You good?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
All good, all good. What's a day in the life like at the minute? Obviously, not too long ago now since you were out in the ring. Just enjoying a bit of downtime.
No, it's been manic really. My dog was ill last week, so to be honest, I've been drained. It's better now, thank God, but it was like, oh, it was draining. So I've not had a chance to relax yet because I've been nursing my dog, but I'm hoping to go on holiday this week because I need a break.
I was just about to say, I've just got your box rec open here. It was a year ago this week, I think.
Yeah,
That the,
remember the 25th?
yeah. That the second
Yeah.
Taylor fight had. But how do you process the last 12 months?
To be honest, it's been very good. It's they always say, didn't they, you hit rock bottom and you gotta climb back up and you kind of like it's like refreshing. And when I look back now, I think last November I was in a very bad place. Obviously, like I had my first loss and I didn't take it well, clearly, and I was in a dark place because it was a hard loss as well. It was a really hard one to take on the chin. So everything comes for a reason, and do you know what? I'm in a very good place now. So I look back and think, Jesus Christ, thank God that's over and done with because even Anto and everyone says that the week after the fight, 2 weeks after, I was quitting boxing. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done with boxing, blah, blah, blah. And then signed with Queensbury and I'm happy again. And just a reset button now. And sorry, cut me out of the way. And then just got to climb the ladder again, really. So everything does happen for a reason. And I had time to reflect and just start again, really. And I'm glad that I made the decisions I made at the time and just building again.
Well, you left the zone as a
Yeah.
broadcaster, and now you'll find yourself back on the zone.
I
Queensbury.
know. Full circle.
I know, yeah. I suppose they're sort of like the zone and everything they're doing is sort of the home of boxing now at the minute. Are
Yeah.
you you've had two fights with Queensbury now. Are you happy with how everything's going when you're speaking with George and Frank? Are you enjoying the process under Queensbury?
Yeah, I am. It was a good change for me at a very good time as well. And they're doing right by me, and that's the main thing is they know what I want, they know what I've got my eyes set on, and they're doing everything they can to get me in the position I want to be in again. So I'm enjoying it and it's a good promotion to be with at the minute because they're absolutely smashing it. So I did sign with them at the perfect time and
Let's talk a little bit about the mad shenanigans of the weekend, and then we'll start and
yeah.
pick out little fights and opportunities for you moving forward. We were having a little chinwag off camera talking about the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
Told me that you couldn't watch it after 5 rounds, and I kind of get that.
Yeah.
What was your initial feeling in the build up, and how did you feel after the fight?
So I kept on changing my opinion, to be honest, and I was meant to be out there. Um, Nikita kindly got me tickets, but because my dog was ill, I couldn't leave him because he had a little operation, and the last thing I wanted to do is go abroad, and my dog's not well, so I didn't go out there in the end. But I was 1 minute when it first was announced, I was thinking, oh, Mike Tyson, he's an absolute, and he's my favorite boxer. Like, idolize him so much. He's my favorite boxer, so at first I was like, oh, I don't really want to see this fight. Like Mike Tyson's a legend, leave him be. But then obviously with the build up in that, I was thinking, does Mike Tyson have one big last performance in him? Like, do you know what I mean? Like you keep changing your mind, and then I think closer again to the fight, and especially fight week, like listening to Mike Tyson and watching him, I was thinking, I don't want to see this. But on the fight night, Friday night, I woke up and I actually only got to round six of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano because I was asleep. And I watched the last 4 rounds. I watched I watched up to round five of Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and decided that was enough for me to see.
Do you think it was good that Jake, obviously, I was going to say opted not to knock him out? That's sort of what it
Yeah,
was
I'm
like.
so glad he did.
I
I'm
mean,
so glad he showed
it would
respect.
be sad to see Mike Tyson laid out on the canvas, right?
See, that's why I turned it off and went to sleep because I was like, I do not want to see Mike Tyson get knocked out. He's an old man. And I was thinking about my dad. I was thinking, Imagine like my dad's in his 70s, obviously older, but fighting and seeing him getting iced out on TV in front of what was it, 60 million households or something? Like, yeah, oh God, it would be absolutely criminal. So I think he done the right thing by taking a step back. He didn't need to knock him out. Like, what would he get out with that? What was he going to gain?
Yeah. It was a spectacle, and it's weird because obviously Netflix came in, they did this event, and obviously you just mentioned there's 60 million households watching it. It's crazy. Everyone I know seemed to be speaking about the fight, saying they'd watched the fight. But my moral compass says I don't quite get it, and don't quite
Yeah,
with it, and you sort of then wonder, if a Jake Paul fights a Tommy Fury or something like that, you kind of expect
yeah,
they're the sort of the levels, but is there a
yeah.
line that needs to be put in place?
I'll be honest, I'm shocked that the commission's allowed the fight to
Yeah,
happen.
same.
Because did you see the thing about Mike Tyson almost died as well? I seen that and I thought, fucking hell, like, how did this fight actually go ahead? I think that again is absolutely insane. But I hope nothing like this happens again. I hope that was a one-off, and now, like you said, he'll be fighting the likes of Tommy Fury's. Even imagine him with Darren Till, or even him with Conor McGregor. Like they're the sort of fights where you're like, yeah, or Cal Froch. Do you know what I mean? They're the sort of fights you'll be like, yeah, yeah, this is a good fight. But I do think at a certain age limit and a certain period where someone's been out of the ring for 20 years, leave it be. Like stay in retirement, enjoy retirement. You don't need to come back in the ring for a few quid. Obviously, saying that he got paid unbelievable, but his name and his legacy, like, nah, just leave it.
Does it spoil the legacy, or is it almost too late on? I mean, it's mad. You look at his last fight on Boxrec was 2004,
But
and
look at Boxrec now. He hasn't lost to Jake Paul, so
I know.
it's
Does that tarnish a little bit?
I don't know. It's a
Oh, isn't it?
hard one. I just wish it didn't happen, really.
Yeah. No, I get that. You said that you caught the end of Taylor Serrano,
Yeah.
another absolute war. We've seen the punch statistics and everything. Now, that doesn't always tell the full story of a fight. How did you have it? I take it you've managed to watch back the whole fight.
I've actually not yet, but I am going to watch the full fight back. It's been weekend and been
Yeah,
in and out, so I am going to watch it back because obviously you're seeing a lot of things about it's controversial and this and that. But I do think if you are having a very close fight, like you can't argue which way it went. So with my fight with Katie, I would have accepted a draw because there was a lot of pressing. There's a lot like I was going forward. Felt like I was pushing the fight, but Katie was catching me with flurries. So you don't know what the judges are looking for. So I can't really say what I think about the decision because I've not watched the full fight. But when I did tune in and seen the cut, it was absolutely nasty. It was making me feel sick. It was disgusting. I was like having to turn away when there was in the corners. I didn't want to see that cut. It was me and
it's funny you say that because obviously in your last fight there was a lot of talk about the use of the head with Katie and
yeah,
sort of wrapping it up and having to, I don't know, I think maybe tough out certain fights in certain ways she
yeah,
may have to use to. That was the same case this weekend. Now Amanda Serrano came out and was quite vocal about that. She had I think she slept on it and came out and said, "Look, maybe I was a little bit too disrespectful within the moment." That is two
yeah,
fights in a row where the same sort of things come up about the use of the head.
yeah.
Where do you sort of see that as a fighter? How does that stick with you?
So this is the thing. Anything I say about Katie comes across on being a hater, but I really am. I respect Katie, what she's done for females boxing, along the likes of Clarissa Shields. But like, I'm always going to speak facts, and the facts are previous opponents contacted me before my first fight with Katie and the second fight saying about the head. So people do say about the head, like she falls in a lot with the head, and the head does have a few impacts on other fighters she's boxed. So that's not being a hater. It's just facts. Like that's what people come to me before I even had any fight and said like, be careful of the head. And I was like, oh, thank you, etc., etc. And that's not just one or two. That's a multiple of previous fighters that was messaging me about that. So obviously there is a head situation, and intentional or not, it's a headbutt. Like heads hurt. I'd rather be punched 10 times in the head than headbutted once because your head is solid. So maybe I think, and as well when you look at Katie's style, it could be her style. Like she comes in, she throws loads of punches, then she grabs and like heads will come in, but sometimes I think you just got to be a bit more cautious with the head because it's not boxing, is it? Like landing dirty headbutts is causing horrible cuts for people. So I don't know. So whatever you say, it's like I'm being a hater. It's not. It's just the fact is we have to watch them heads. Sometimes in my last fight, because I'm a starter, I'm a kung fu fighter. Your head does go in, but you can see I'm not intentionally headbutting someone or like ramming my head into them. It's just your style just clash, so your heads may clash now and again. But like constant like ramming head in and stuff, then that's not an accident.
Look, she's got two open doors now to trilogy fights, one with
Yeah,
and one with Amanda Serrano. There is also the question, I suppose I maybe put this to you as a bit of a neutral, putting your two fights to one side. She is
yeah,
38. She looks like she's on the, I don't want to say deteriorating end because I don't think that's fair at all, but she's certainly not the fresh boxer that she turned over from the Olympics as. We've seen
yeah,
that she can be caught up into these dogfights and maybe not the unbeatable power that people once looked upon her as.
yeah.
Um, are you now basically seeing this going to the Warrens and say, right, we just capitalise, let's get the third fight. We know Katie Taylor might not be around for another year or 2 years. I mean, how do you see it?
So I see it as I can only control what I can only control what I can control, and I'm mandatory. People forget that I'm the only person who's actually beat Katie Taylor. No matter what you say about decisions and close fights, etc., on Box Rec, I'm the only fighter that has beaten Katie Taylor, and Katie Taylor in November beat me. She got her redemption, so we are one apiece, and no one else has that with Katie Taylor. Where I beat her, she beat me, and I think she openly said as well that she knows there's a score to settle, and she wants the trilogy as well. But she did say that she wants to do 12 3-minute rounds with Amanda. So she's got so many options. But for me, it's I can only control what I can control. And if Katie went into retirement, good on her. What she's done for everything she's done from the amateurs to the pros, you could see why she can hang up the gloves today and be happy and be a very wealthy woman. So you can't blame her. Like if I was her, I probably would retire. If I'm honest, I probably would. But saying that, I think I wouldn't be able to retire. I wouldn't be able to retire knowing that I had a score to settle with someone. Where at the minute, me and her were one apiece, and she's always got to remember that I beat her, she beat me, and we never did have the third fight. And that's not because of me. I agreed to everything on my part. I thought the trilogy was happening, and then she was going to have a fight her mandatory, but then not luckily, but the Amanda Serrano fight come up for her, and she became a multi-millionaire again. So it made perfect sense for her. It worked out very well for her, but she's beat Amanda twice on paper. So if they have the trilogy, it's about money, and good on them because that sort of money, like earning crazy money, and too right, they deserve it, both of them. But again, does Katie want to finish this thing that me and her have got, where we've got a score to settle? I don't know. Is she about the money, or is she about finishing her legacy? Where the minute, where does it stand? Because we're one apiece.
Out of curiosity, you talk about at the start of the interview having a year since that second fight, or coming up to a year since that second fight, and there's things that you've had to do within yourself. You said that you were quite bitter at the start. You maybe didn't want to box.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think part of you just speaking there and just being able to speak so openly and calmly about the fight has probably shown where you've come on over the course of a year?
Yeah, 100%. Like after the fight in November, it was like it was a hard pill to swallow because listen, that the cut on my forehead wasn't a punch. I got headbutted, and there's actually a video where you can see it's not an accidental headbutt. So that I was angry about. I had stitches in my head. Um, like I didn't want a big scab on my forehead because I got headbutted, not punched. I did score a knockdown. Whatever people say, like, I seen people saying I stood on her foot. I didn't stand on no one's foot. I landed a jab, it hit her chest, and I worked. She wasn't hurt, but she fell down. She touched the floor, and that's a knockdown. Jack Catterall's fight. not Ramirez, Progress caught him with a shot. He lost his match, he touched the floor, and he got scored a knockdown. That's a knockdown. If he touched the floor, it's a knockdown. But even that, it's like that's I could control that. That was down to the ref, and there was a lot of holding, there was a lot of headbutting, and back then I didn't know what to do. I was flustered. I was getting angry. I was just trying to do what I could do to press the fight, and it didn't work for me on the night, and I got beaten, and it is what it is. But now I've learned that if someone holds me, just rag them, rag them about. So I had to take everything on the chin and just learn from it and adapt. And I definitely feel like I've done that now.
Well, we're in the time of collaboration in boxing, what people are doing. You've got different entities working with each other, and look, I suppose you've only got to look at Riyadh season, all the different
Yeah.
broadcasts. We know, like I mentioned, Queensbury are coming to the zone. Are there any fights out there that excite you away from the Katie Taylor fight? I mean, I'm sure actually, I think I messaged you on Saturday and I said, "Cool, the Amanda Serrano fight for you would be incredible." I mean, what at the minute is sort of gearing you up? What fights are you targeting out there, Chantelle?
Do you know what? I've actually achieved what I wanted to achieve in boxing. I've become undisputed and I beat Katie Taylor, and I'm the only woman on paper to have beaten Katie Taylor. So for me, it's like I just want to have some fun now. I want to enjoy boxing, have some fun. I want to do a 3 minute round fight because I think it's going to suit me a lot better. And after my last fight, I done 10 twos, and honestly, I felt like I could have gone on and done another 5 rounds.
Do you think do you think the whole 12-3 argument, I actually tweeted it after Saturday's fight. I said a fight like this just feels spoiled over 10-2.
Yeah,
You feel like
yeah.
at what point are we going to finally get that gradual change?
More women doing 3 minute rounds and just saying, do you know what? Let's not fight for a belt. Let's just do 3 minute rounds, and then it's gonna push on, and everyone will jump on it, and more women will start doing 3 minute rounds, and then the belts will be there again because the belt's going to need to be boxed for. So I think just more women saying, do you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do a 3 minute round. Scratches. And it takes two to tango, so you need a dance partner to do three. So yeah.
That is true. Natasha Jonas has just had a fight announced for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I suppose British domestic rivalries are always what sort of do the sport well. Have you got an eye on any Brits out there, or literally just whatever works for Chantel Cameron? You're happy.
As long as I'm fighting, I'm just going to stay in my lane and just see what Anto comes up with and Queensbury come up with. We was talking about Tasha Jonas. We was talking about fighting her in November, but my last fight, but that didn't happen. And listen, I would love to share the ring with Tasha. I got so much respect for her, and throughout my boxing career as a pro, I've actually gone for I've gone to Tasha for advice and got some help in that from her. So it'll be so much respect to share the ring with her and be an honour. So I would love the Tasha fight, and I think it would be good for British boxing. But to be honest with you, I'm going to stay in my lane, and whatever happens, it happens. I think the amount of times you get so overworked and annoyed and frustrated about not getting this fight, not getting that fight, you know what will be, and everyone knows it's clear. I want the trilogy because I feel like me and Katie had the third fight. She won't beat me. I beat her in the first fight. She beat me in the second. The third fight will be completely different, and I feel like it's like I got that like hunger now as well, where I'd be completely different. I think I'd be an animal, and I just wouldn't allow it. I just wouldn't allow her to beat me again because I know how it feels. But again, that's out of my hands. So just got to leave it to Queensbury and see what they can do for me.
I think there's some niceties in having peace in that, Chantel.
It
Yeah.
is. There's no point being annoyed about it. Like there's so many times in boxing where I have been annoyed and maybe have been a brat because I'm frustrated and I'm a competitor. I do boxing because I'm a competitor and I'm a winner. So yeah, there's been times where I threw my dummy out the pram a bit, but and I'm open about what I say. So if I think something, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to be fake. And do you know what? In boxing, there's too many fake people, and I refuse to be fake. I'm going to say it how it is, and if people don't like it, they don't like it. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to change who I am just to suit social media and fit into the little cliques and that. It's not me. So people like it, people don't. It is what it is. I'm still going to be fighting. I'm still going to be doing what I love. I'm still doing what I love, and I'm going to go out in boxing, enjoying myself, and having some fun with it.
Chantel, big up yourself. Thank you very much for your time and speaking to us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Is that your dog, by the way? Can we get a little?
Yeah, yeah. It literally sat
Yeah.
here wanting me to stroke him. So that was
Perfect way to end the interview.